As we continue the season of celebration, it would be remiss if we didn't check in with our Dr. Claude Brown Memorial Trophy winner. That is Daniel Valente Jr. Danny, I always say this. I know it's very important to the family that we always make sure we put in that junior. Is that the family, or is that just senior that wants to make sure that the junior still stays in there?
I mean, it's more just me and him. It's like kind of something we have. I don't. My mom probably hates it, but if she's never gonna listen to this, but she definitely hates it. But yeah, it's kind of just like a bond thing we have. Like I'm real close with him, so it's kind of just like an appreciation to him. I mean, we technically do have the same name. It's just not there. So
I was going to
and
say the Valente fan club travels in many numbers and everywhere. If
yeah,
that is the case, right? I'm pretty sure it's written in stone that anytime I know in my kind of 4 or 5 years that I've been here, anytime I see you, I see the rest of the Valente fan section. It's like it's a weird conglomeration of the Valvano section and the Valente section, and I feel like
yeah.
the end of an era is coming here, sort of thing.
Yeah, we're gonna miss that, the tailgates for sure. We missed them this year, had not having Valvano, but it's definitely something we'll miss, and I know the family will miss it too. So
We'll go through a bunch of stuff, but first and foremost, take me back to obviously awards night. A little bit different than I would say somewhat the traditional, because usually our Claude Brown Trophy winner is standing on stage with a purple blanket in hand. You already had that in the trophy case, so you were sitting in the stands, sort of thing. Were you expecting it, or was it a scenario where you kind of said, "I better be there just in case"?
well, the I knew I was nominated, so I went and I figured I would have a half decent chance given I was nominated last year too. So I kind of went in like with some expectations that I could win it, and then I did. So it was a good night. It's an awesome award. So something to be proud of.
I know for you, obviously, you're so big on even when you won the stand up defensive award at the OUAs this year, the first thing you were talking about is obviously the lineage of who else has won that award and kind of what it means to. At that point, you guys were in the mix of obviously the season, so it was all about the team. Even when you win the award this year, I know when you go to get your photo, the first thing you wanted to do is get a picture with the rest of the guys from the team who won something that night. How much was it less about you and more about you seeing your guys also get their recognition? Keon's MVP for the team, and Savon gets his purple blanket. Elliot gets his blanket and strikes a nice pose on stage at the same
Oh
time.
yeah,
No surprise
yeah.
there, right?
Yeah, like, it was that like, I was sitting next to Coach Kirk, Jake Kirk, in the stands, and I think there was, like, 3 blankets left to give out, and just Keon was on stage, and we're literally sitting there, we're like, "If they don't give him friggin' Elliot and Savon, like, we are gonna be, like, pissed, like, no way this is happening," and we're just sitting there like, "Oh my god, there's only 3 left," and then they both ended up getting it, we were all happy, so, like, stuff like that, like, I don't know, it just makes you happy to see people get the accolades that they deserve, and sometimes the people don't get them, and it's kind of it's a not a good feeling, you could say. Like we had it a couple times this year, just with all Canadians, all stars. Like it's nice to be recognized. So when it happens, it's something to celebrate.
You've won a couple awards, obviously. As I said, the OUA Stand Up Defensive Award. You get this one as well. Were there a couple congratulatory messages coming in from special folks, sort of thing, or are you at the point now where you've won enough things that people are like, yeah, Danny won something again?
Yeah, I feel like it's honestly like that. Like I honestly like besides like the close family and a couple friends, like just the regular people who usually I talk to didn't really. Yeah, they didn't. Just like, oh, congrats, congrats on the award. Thanks.
Nice job, Danny. We kind of expected it, sort of thing. And
Yeah, I don't.
have you
Yeah.
Have you taken that time, yet to kind of, I know you're in the middle, like as we talk now, it's the middle of exam season. I know you're kind of in the middle of that, but I know it's been a couple months since the season, and I know you knew that this was the final season. Have you had a chance to kind of sit back and reflect and kind of go, all right, a couple Vaniers, bunch of Yates, the numbers, kind of think back and kind of, I know when we talked in the fall, you kind of said, haven't had a whole lot of time just yet. Have you taken the time yet to kind of reflect a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like that was part of getting over the whole Laval loss. It was kind of just in the process of getting over that. It was kind of just looking at the bright side of things and looking at the career I did have and how I did win 2 Vaniers. I did what, three or four Yates Cups? No. 17, 18, 19, or not 19, 21, 22. So four Vanier Cups. And then like to have all those, to have all the all stars, like it's just to have, like I said, getting recognized for a lot of things. Like it's something I'm grateful for, and it's just awesome. It's to look back on, and right now I know I'm not as grateful as I'll be in 5 years, 10 years. I feel like as time goes on, I'll get more grateful of the career I had and the people I met. But for now, it's kind of just like I said, just getting over the Laval thing. It was kind of just looking back and kind of being like, okay, well, there was some good in there, a lot of good actually, but it's compared to
Uh,
the general OUA guy, I have a lot of like a lot more. I feel like than a lot of them do. So it's something. It's definitely a positive.
I know kind of you said at the start of the year you were coming back for obviously one last shot at it sort of thing. You were also saying that you had to come back to graduate to prove it to some family members. So are you, now that you're right at the tail end of it right now, are you kind of going, all right, another checkbox sort of thing? Won a
Yeah,
couple of awards, but make sure they take care of the family expectations.
yeah, I'm pumped about finally graduating. I mean, it took me 6 years, so I'm definitely done with the whole studying and all that. So I'm pumped to be moving on to playing football and doing that. So like yeah,
We've talked about it in the past, but the fact that the connection, I know you and Greg obviously have a great connection, but you and Paul Gleason, is it going to be weird to continue to be on a football field and not have Gleason there with you? Because that was kind of the two-headed monster for the last couple of years. He's on the sideline. I know Greg and a bunch of people have told me that there's times where Paul just kind of said, "This is what I'm thinking," and then he just let you sort it out on the field when you saw it, sort of thing.
yeah. The connection we had, like it was awesome. I mean, like it took like I feel like it wasn't really because I've been playing since 2018, and 2018 his trust in me was nowhere close to what it is last year and even this year. So I feel like these last 2 years have kind of we've seen it like come to fruition and that he really trusts me, and it's weird to have that not with another coach. Like last year when I was in Ottawa for the summer, like it was definitely like it's well, one, it's a completely different terminology, completely different playbook. So that's one to deal with, and then two, you have to learn like who this guy is, right? Like you have no clue how they coach. Like are they like it's just you got to like figure them out, right? So it's definitely different, and I definitely will miss him, but it is what it is. I guess I just got to roll with the punches.
What's this summer looking like for you? Because I know you said as much as some people think the university career ends and you finish the school thing, you get like what, a week of free time before the next stage of football career. And as you say, it's the job that maybe some family members don't realize that your job is going to be playing football.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I have like 10 days after my last exam before I have to ship off. So I mean, it's definitely a quick transition, but having been there last year and having kind of got my feet wet, it kind of like mentally, I feel like I'm ready for it now. So and I didn't have to do any of the combine stuff and getting in the draft day, like, because like all the guys in the draft this year have no clue where they're going until May 2nd. And then May 9th, they're flying out. So, like, it's only 5 days, and you're like, all right, I'm going to BC, I guess. Yep.
Have you been kind of mentoring? Like, obviously, there's a bunch of guys that could go in the draft this year, and guys from the team who could be seeing their career move to the next step or whatever it may be. Have you had those guys kind of coming to you saying, "Danny, what should I expect with this? How does this work?" Kind of thing.
Yeah, they've been asking me questions and stuff, like, just out of curiosity, I feel like. And I've been as honest with them as I can, but I feel like everybody's kind of different. And I kind of tell them this. Like, it's like you're going to get a call from probably every team, and this team's going to seem like they like you a lot. And this team probably never going to talk to you except for the one time they said hey or something, and that's the team that's going to draft you. So it's like I'm like you don't know, like it's a lot of questions with just a lot of it happened during the combine because that's a very stressful, like I guess it's a week now before it was a weekend, but yeah, and I just been trying to support them, and but they all got good heads on them. They're all focused, like Phil, Rob, Keon, Savvy. Like they're all gonna do great. If I miss somebody, I love you guys. I'm
Are you maybe kind of saying to them, Ottawa might not be a bad place to go if you want to, come and hang out?
Yeah, I'm 100% pushing that. I want some Western guys in Ottawa, man.
How much different do you feel this year versus last year going in? You said it's obviously, you've seen it, you've kind of know what's going on a little bit, but do you feel like you're more prepared to kind of make that move this year versus last year kind of thing?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, just getting my feet wet, and because I realized last time when I was in Ottawa, I was like, I've never like moved away from home like permanently. I was not I guess not home. I've moved in London a million times, but I mean, I guess the city of London is my home. So I was like, whoa, I've like never moved away. I'm like, what do I do? Like, what am I like? Where am I going? Like, figure out the city. Like, where do I go get food? Where like, just life. Like, I was really like, I've never done this. So it took some time to get accustomed to it, but this year it'll be a lot better. And like having friends there, like and I got some family up there too, so it'll be a good time. I'm excited. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. We'll see how it goes.
Danny nervous. We've never seen that before.
Oh yeah, I'm always
When
nervous.
what is it about obviously this, the fact that you get to go play pro ball? This has been something I know you've been playing this game for a long time. You've been a local guy, you've been involved in all the kind of local organizations. Is this, kind of surreal right now to be thinking that you're making this trip when, you've been at, the alumni stadium playing football for, I'm sure to you it feels like forever sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely cool. I mean, like it's always been a dream of mine, right? So it'll definitely be something that's surreal, but I feel like I won't really feel that until I'm like going on an away game in like BC or something like that. Because like I kind of felt it last year in the preseason when we went to Montreal, and I was like, wow, like I've never been to Montreal. Like this is cool. Like I got to start in the game, but I was only playing a quarter, so like it's different. But I feel like once I'm actually submerged in it and I'm out there and I've had like a couple weeks, I'll be like, wow, I get some money in my bank account, I'll be like, well, this is kind of cool.
This whole getting played to play sports thing is kind of all right. So,
Yeah.
uh, how much you going to be keeping an eye on the team back here next year? Because I know that's those are still your guys, sort of thing. And as much as you led them, they're looking to you to kind of for inspiration, but they're also, I'm sure you're going to be keeping an eye on the defensive unit back here and kind of saying, all right, how are they doing? Is everybody in the right spot? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching film. I'll definitely probably be calling Gleese too, ask him how what's going on and trying to figure out the inside scoop and whatnot. But I'm like they got a lot of good guys still in like the locker room as leader wise. Like Riley's still there, and I got a lot of faith in them as a defense next year. So it's gonna take some people to step up, but I'm excited to see what they do.
Is it interesting this year? Because I know coming into the season, everybody was talking about young defensive line because, the guys that left last year sort of thing. And then obviously those guys stepped up. Now going into next year, I'm sure there's going to be people talking about the other side of the ball and the offensive line side of the ball, obviously with, potential of Keon getting drafted and a bunch of the guys from that O-line, are you looking to your defensive guys to kind of take that step up that kind of this year to kind of say, all right, well, if there are some new guys that need some time to get used to things, you guys can hold it down kind of thing?
I feel like that's always been our job. Like G Marsh always wants to go for it on freaking third down and midfield and around the end. So it's like, you know what? It's always been our job. We got you, coach. And I'm like, Gleason knows that one. He's always like, oh, like, that's literally just nothing else. Just all right, get out there, defense.
Who's going to take over your coveted interception spot next year? Because I know you were having some fun with those INT numbers to the point that I believe you told me once G Marsh was giving you trouble for maybe
Yeah.
catching and running a little too much, sort of thing. I don't think you would argue that you weren't looking for those interceptions.
Yeah, he got mad at me at the Guelph game for catching the third pick. He was like, "It was third down." And I was like, "Coach, like I'm not just not gonna catch this ball." What do you want me to two-hand, like, bat it down? I'm like, we're winning by like 30 points. Like, we're good. As long as you know in a close game, you got to drop it. I'm like, oh, I got you, coach. I'm like, I'm still
Got you, no problem.
I was like, I didn't even know it was third down.
So who's picking up your the what you're leaving behind?
Well, if Rob's back next year, which I don't think he will be because he's going to stick in the league because he's a dog. But I think, let's say Rob graduate, probably Jackson. I got to go with my boy Jackson. He'll be playing safety. He'll be taking he'll be the new free safety, my spot. And I think he'll I think he got his hands on a couple this year. I think he dropped them all though. But he's going to take the next step.
He's gonna take that clip right there and just use it as motivation for the rest of the year.
Yeah. He had a couple sacks this year. He had a whole bunch of sacks. I don't know if he had any interceptions.
So long story short, you're feeling good about what you're leaving behind and kind of the impact you've made on the program, sort of thing?
Yeah. It's been a good ride. And I still hope to come back, hopefully, and maybe coach or something in the future. They'll have me, but you never know what will happen. But that's my goal eventually, just to coach. But hopefully at Western, hopefully with these guys, but we'll see. We'll see.
So long story short is what you're saying, and I'm happy to hear it, that we'll still hear from you periodically as you go through this professional thing, but then at some point you come back and hang out with us again.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Danny, congrats on the Claude Brown Award, and congrats on obviously signing with Ottawa again and taking that next step in the career. We're looking forward to seeing what the summer entails for the professional career, and we'll definitely still. I'll be there to clip a couple highlights for you when you keep making interceptions, sort of thing, because you already got the one in the preseason game, so you got to keep the highlight reel going, right?
Yeah, hopefully it keeps going. Hopefully.
Danny, thanks for this, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, see you later.